Okay, well, we're doing another one of these films today. Test driving this Q50R wheelchair, but also seeing if the recommended accessibility routes in Oxford are as good as they are promoted to be. Now, if you remember, the last one I did was in Brasenose Woods. It was great that there was an accessibility route, but it was just sort of forgotten about, I think. There were some gravel areas, which was just about navigable in this chair. If it was any deeper, I wouldn't have been able to get through. Also a gate that I could get through in this chair, but a number of other wheelchairs wouldn't have been able to get through. 25 years ago, there was an access route through Brasenose that was put in for wheelchairs, and I think nowadays people have forgotten that's wheelchair access because the council drive their 4x4 vehicles up and down there now, which is making it uneven, so you can have a job to get through. On this advised accessibility map, there was a couple of boggy footpaths that you couldn't get through, even on foot. And there was a gate that was just about wide enough, but you had a narrow bridge that was too narrow for me to get this across. And on the other side there was a steep bank. And also we had one of the footpaths was closed because of tree work. So what we want to try and do is not bang anybody over the head with this. You know, what we want to do is make sure these advised accessibility routes are always accessible, and we want a bit more information. We're in Kidlington at St Mary's Fields, and we're following, we're going to be challenging the Oxford County Council's accessibility advised walks. And now I have to say, the first bit of the instruction is turn left through the gate. Now, when you see a map like this, people like me who are in wheelchairs, we have a great concern about going out and even attempting some of these walks, because we've been let down in the past. And when you hear I have to go through a gate, you immediately think, am I going to be able to get through there? Now what we're presented with, it's not 100% clear which gate we need to go through. We've got this one over here, which I'm going to try and get through, and we've got a couple more down there, and that basically takes us from point A to point B on the map. Maybe when you say there's a gate, maybe include a photograph, a description, or whatever, just so we know what we're going to be presented with before we arrive. So I'm going to have a go at this. This mud here behind me is actually sloping. It'd be easier if it was flat. Amazing. If it would have been leveler, it would have been easier. If it had been a really, really wet day, it wouldn't have been able to do it. If I'd have been in a bigger chair, this is not navigable. So I really am pushing for maybe considering having radar keys, bigger gates, and then radar keys so the disabled can open the gates. They'll be bigger. And I also think maybe on these maps, some details which would help make a decision of whether we come or not is seasonal differences, because in the summer the terrain might be easier than in winter. It may be that in winter you can't pass, so we need to know these things. So we're going to have a go down to this pond down here and see. But I have to say, I'm really not keen. I'm amazed I got through that one. But, you know, we're here. Well done. But let's improve this. we're beginning to traverse this pathway, it does say it's completely straight and it's deviating slightly, so it is concerning me slightly that I'm going the right way. But what would be useful on these advisories is maybe a note saying when they were last reviewed and when the next review would happen, because it would just give disabled people peace of mind to know we can go out and it's up to date. And on the map it just seems to indicate it's just open fields. It would be nice to have a bit more information, because I suddenly got to this uneven ground here and I started to think, am I going to be able to access that? But then I realised I don't need to, because this is the end of the line. Access needs to be more than the people with mobility issues. It needs to be people with visual issues and hearing issues. Maybe there needs to be some sign here saying this is the end of the accessible path, but I wasn't expecting a pond like this. I got to the end of the track and then I had a job to turn round. So, you know, it just needs to, the start is here for accessibility. We just needs thinking about a bit more and work with us and ask what we need. Can't even do that one. This isn't on the accessibility route, but you know, there's no, even if I wanted to try something different, I wouldn't be able to. That's just too narrow. There's another gate behind me. I'm just going to experiment with that. That's not on the accessibility route either. I just want to show you that not all gates are accessible. This one is, again, is uneven. Have a look at this. Can't get in a position to be able to do it. It looks like I could traverse the pathway in there, but I don't have the choice. These two gates I've just done, they're not meant to be accessible access routes, but it just shows that these curved gates and compounds, I call them, even if the route was accessible the other side, I wouldn't be able to get in. I'm now going to go down from point A to C and then carry on down to the river. There doesn't appear to be any gates here, but I want you to think about, even if I could get through these gates I've experienced this morning, the all-terrain wheelchair that I'm looking for wouldn't be able to get through even that first one that does access the accessibility route, because it's too big. Not all gates are suitable for all wheelchairs. And accessibility is wider than mobility impaired. It's cognitive impaired, hearing impaired and sight impaired. We all need different things. So let's have a go down this track. The only barriers I'm going to come across, I think, is uneven ground. Now, this route floods in winter. It wasn't actually mentioned on this map, so there's a seasonality to to accessibility as well. So we're right next to the River Charwell, all this floods. Instructions here, it says the path surface is hard with large stones. There's also, it's broken up, the concrete's broken up and there's divots. Some chairs are going to really struggle with this. Last bit was heaven, tarmac, but you can't have that everywhere, it's countryside. But you know, there's a lot of good work been done on this route, accessibility wise, but we can do more. It'd be nice to actually have a loop as well, so we feel we're just not restricted, like a route in and a route out makes you feel. The good thing about this route this morning is for the first time in a number of years I've been able to get near a river. We've got the River Charwell here, and I've heard Chetty's warblers singing. I haven't heard those singing for a number of years because I can't get to the habitats. This is one place I can come to. So hopefully if you're looking to buy one of these chairs, you can see the pros and cons. If you're looking to improve accessibility routes, hopefully this is helpful. Work with us. I'm happy to come in liaise and work with you and test drive sites. Let's do accessibility properly.